Computer. Okay, so we have a lot of material to cover tonight uh,
Good.
I in a very short space of time. So let me try to do the best I can with this. First off, I want to tell you that I received um, photographic information from 7 of you. So if you sent me photographs and you don't hear your name on this list, just raise your hand and tell me. So I got material from Richard, Sylvia, Kathy, Anna, Bruni, Carol, and Philippa. Philippa. Did anyone else send me material? Okay, okay. Um, a- and when you are writing your essay, at some point in your essay or throughout your essay, I would love to hear some really strong examples of what I call slow looking. So, in other words, if someone was reading your essay, they would say that this person who wrote this really had acute eyesight and was really looking at the art that they were talking about, really looking, eyeballing it. I want to remind you that if for those of you who live in New York, the exhibit that I mentioned of Gregory Gillespie continues until November 8th, which is a week from Saturday. And
Mhm.
um, I I plan to go back, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So tonight we're gonna be discussing William Kentridge. Um, how many of you know this artist? How many of you don't? Oh,
Um,
all right, that's great. This is great. So William Kentridge, born 1955. Uh, William Kentridge is South African, and what brings me to speak about him is a mixed media presentation that he did, which took place at Powerhouse Arts, which is a new, amazing art center about 4 blocks from where I live. But top of the line art center. I knew nothing about this except for the fact that this Kentridge production was taking place there. Um, okay, so William Kentridge is from South Africa, and his parents were active in progressive causes in South Africa. Um, his parents and he are Jewish. And in some of the writing that I read about him, he seems to imply that his Jewish background gave him a particular point of view, that of an outsider. Okay. I don't know what to make of that, but I think I think I agree with that. Um, but you can also be an outsider and not be Jewish. But
mhm.
but if you're Jewish, you might be more of an outsider. In any case, this is his contention, or someone who is writing this, their contention. He begins studying drawing at the age of 8. Okay, and I couldn't find examples of these drawings, the 8-year-old drawings, but I understand that there's a book on these drawings. He also studies mime and theater in Paris at a school called Jacques Lecoq, Jacques Lecoq School. of drama, Lecoq, L-E, then C-O-Q. He originally wanted to be an actor.
Makes sense.
Um, he specializes in drawings, and his early works were drawings which were animated in quite an interesting way.
Hmm.
So, but he's continued this. It's not just his early works, but that's how I first became aware of him. Uh, and the drawings are done, and then they're erased, and little by little, erased, more and more, and then film is shot of each appearance or lesser appearance of the drawings. Um, so drawing is the subject of his art, and and so he made films of these animated drawings. And when the films were shown, the drawings were shown also near and next to the films. Um, the drawings maintain a great interest in process, or maybe in a different way, thinking and thought. For the visual purposes, we might say process first, but in his case, it's drawings involved in thinking and thought and conjecture and a very active and stimulating brain power. Um, so it, you might find this interesting. It, as with everything in life, one one isn't necessarily open to something, some sense of art or idea. Sometimes it's not the right time for you to see something. Sometimes you're not ready to see something. And sometimes you have to be introduced to it, whatever. And sometimes you change and the art is changing that you're looking at. So um, I liked his drawings, but it wasn't like extraordinary to me. But I liked them. But many people responded to the drawings and they were very into his work. And I looked at it more and I liked it, but it wasn't earth shattering to me. And but over many years, I began to like it even more and even more and even more. And he is really emerged as one of my favorite
Hmm.
contemporary artists. I would say top three artists. Um, his work grows and becomes more sophisticated. He is a man full of ideas, of thoughts and thinking. The drawings, as I said before, are about process. Now, what's also interesting is that he branches out into
Yeah.
different subject matter,
Hmm.
and he is involved in opera, and he is involved in mixed media productions like the one I saw. So he has a very restless and searching mind. He is a man bursting with ideas, a deeply restless and explorative mind. Um, Renee and I saw an exhibit of his at the Royal Academy in London that consisted of about 15 large rooms. And it was really tiring walking through those 15 rooms. In fact, it was really an amazing experience. And I remember saying to Renee after we walked through those rooms, which consisted of drawings, film, and um, films of dramatic works, opera, and others. I said to Renee that I felt like I'd been punched in the face for the
Mm.
last 3 hours.
Oof.
Okay, I felt it was that strong. So I put together some material to show you, and I hope that this is going to work out. Um, okay, so let me try this. Okay, okay. So I separated this material into a kind of grouping of earlier works, then another grouping of later works, and then some photographs and I also would like to show you a film or more than one if I could figure out how to do this. I've never shown a film on this in this network before. So okay. So um this makes me think of his earlier work, and the work is mainly done in charcoal, and it's like many drawings, and very creative and impulsive. So um, let me show you some more. So these drawings don't really exist for themselves. They exist as forms of animation. I'm pretty sure that many of these were animated. Uh, this is him or a character that seems a lot like him in the videos. He has a curious way of drawing and drawing lines through the drawing, many times red lines and lines of demarcation. And also in many of the drawings, there are aphorisms or terms or words or short sentences. Some of the drawings, besides using charcoal, also use ink and white crayon or chalk. You could see these aphorisms here. Beware of the streets after dark. You will never see that city. The old gods have retired. Um, Here, you will be alone on the plain. Um, this man is obsessed with doing his work and filtering life through art and drawing. The personal aside that I said before, which is about how it may not be the right time to be opened up to something, is true of many things. And um, it's an interesting thing about how we live. And maybe the things we liked when we were 25 or 30 aren't the things we like when we're 55 or 60. And we change, we explore, and we find our axis. Now, this looks like ink and charcoal together. Many of the drawings are of birds. So, in these drawings, one of the key um, ways to see it is that the drawings are not just drawings, they're about process and thinking. Some of the themes in his films and his work have a political side to them, but really the political side is not entirely clear, and it's definitely not uh, you must think this, you must think that. It's it's kind of more mysterious. Like for instance, this one. It is quite amazing that this man came out of South Africa. Um, he likes to do drawings and he has many ideas of himself, looking at himself. And in fact, in some of the videos, I couldn't find the one I was looking for, but in some of the videos, there's two of him, and they talk to each other, and it's quite funny. It's not really funny, but it's quite funny. One of them asks the other one questions. One of them interviews the other one. There's two, like actually like this. Um, some of these drawings are done on newspaper or pages out of an encyclopedia or pages out of books. Not exactly understanding why, but many of them are not done on drawing paper. They're done on paper that is not standard art fare. I think that later on there's something which looks like an image like this, which is animated, and the pages start falling out of the book. Isn't this something? This is so interesting. Sorry, this is a little out of focus, but this is a drawing of him, I believe, in a museum looking at various paintings. It does a series of drawings of heads like this, almost like books and cases. He probably doesn't sleep very much. He probably is up day and night doing these. This seems to me to be more recent and have a different kind of fluidity about it. But, it is done on, looks to me like pages from an encyclopedia, and the pages are fitted together. Some you can see the
Right.
type pages through the ink. Um, and these are different sizes. Some of them are very large. Some of them are like 30 inches, sort of medium. Some are very big.
Maybe upside down.
Um, Different abstractions of birds with different mediums and um, very strong attack mode. Um, um, Very graphic and full of life.
This is
Does let me just keep going and then I'll let you come in and just uh,
mm,
twist this around. Um, does a series of drawings of a coffee pot, and the coffee pot starts to get abstracted in different ways. Does even sculpture of some of these abstractions, and you can see these are on pages, and they look to me like India ink, black India ink. Oh, and does a series of films and productions, um, which goes under the title of My Life as a Coffee Pot, and I think I have a little film on that coming up. In some of his work, there's a sense of absurdity and absurdity that kind of relates to the theater of absurdity and theatrical absurdity. But this is a drawing equivalent of that. So these are what looks like wash, pen and ink and wash, maybe some charcoal, but it looks like ink washes. He says, "Let me live again. Oh, to believe in another world." And that looks like Manet there and a floral in a bottle. As if I could swallow what I had just said. So oh yeah, here's one of the very large drawings. I don't know entirely how these drawings can be kept. They seem to me to be very fragile. I don't know how you can fix them. Usually drawings are put under glass, but I can't imagine this being under glass. The glass would be enormous. Maybe putting them under glass is old hat. I don't know, but in any case, I think I've seen this one. It's very striking. Oh, composed of many sheets of paper, all put together and pinned on the wall with tacks. Very elegant tacks, but tacked to the wall. So I think you can sense a great life force um, and a great belief in art. Um, so my personal sense of his work and of him began to change because I began to think that these really weren't drawings so much in the way that I thought of drawing, but they were various attempts to come to terms with life as he saw them, as he saw it, uh, and they were rich and investigative and explorative and relentless. This one I just pulled out. I don't know what the meaning of it is, or I don't even know the title, but I pulled it out because we had studied triptychs, and this is his idea of a triptych. Oh, but it did make me think of something. You could almost make an argument that his work would be connected with new objectivity, uh, this German art form that we studied, and my theory was that it wasn't just an art form in Germany, but in other countries, and here it is in South Africa. So this is what Kentridge looks like. You can see him and the scale of some of these. And these pictures show him in his studio uh, and in the working space that he has. And uh, they're very rich in that you see his life. And if you could say that the art and the drawings are the inside of his brain, um, it really is extremely striking. Um, he is quite funny, uh, but a certain kind of humor. It's not like it's not like Jerry Lewis humor. It's funny. It's actually very witty, his humor. I think he said something in one of the interviews about being able to sit in front of this piece and a friend would be visiting and they would be sitting on the other side of the tree. It's kind of funny, kind of appealing. Uh, he does these sculptures, and in this exhibit that recently took place at this gallery called Hauser and Wirth, there were exhibits of the drawings, the sculptures, films, uh, more than that, much more.
But Simon, are these his pieces of art too, or
Yes,
what
yes,
on
yes,
the table? So he does sculpture.
yes, yes, yes. So, um, the other part that influenced me in seeing him in a way that was stronger, reverberated strongly, was that it seemed to me that his art reflected his omnivorous curiosity about everything, about life and everything. So it's really not about whether a drawing is well done. It's really more about the curious way that he is looking at life. That's my take.
Simon.
Yeah, just let me say something about this, and then you'll come in. Here, this was taken from above, looking down, and you could see how the whole studio is filled with art. It's almost consuming him, or he's consuming the art. The art is consuming him. This picture is enormously big. Um, you could see how there are the pages are put together here, 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 here. Um, and there are um, little cups here that have different inks of different strengths. Yes, was it Ron? You were going to say something?
Yes, Simon. I didn't recognize the name when you first mentioned it, but immediately remembered that we had seen a large exhibition of his work at the Smithsonian Museum of African Art about, I would guess, 15 years ago.
Huh.
And what I remember from that, it was the time when music videos were starting to get popular. And there were several music videos that he produced. And the soundtracks were very compelling to the
Yes,
extent that I can still remember the words of one of them, which was just repeated and repeated with very active visual imagery. And it was, "You're kind of kinky, but I like you a lot.
yeah.
Kind of
So
kinky, but I
he,
like you
he
a lot."
beyond the this more traditional art, he branches out into opera. Uh, he does two operas by Berg, one called Lulu and one called Wozzeck. And the piece that we saw in Brooklyn is called Waiting for the Sibyl. Um, okay. So,
Simon, what do you mean by he did opera? You mean he drew
he directed it. He
he
directed,
directed it?
or
Oh,
he did the drawings or the visuals for the opera.
for the okay.
Yeah. So he's very involved in music and in theater, and so as he branches out into other things, the drawings are almost not the first thing you're going to think about. The drawings are becoming secondary to other directions of curiosity.
This is just wild.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
He ends up in the glass. Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Um, I think I lost the
You can do
oh, play from start. Okay.
it.
Simon, one
Yeah.
minor observation.
Yeah.
Your first image, the announcement of the gallery show,
Yes.
it's a stereo pair.
A what?
If you merge the two images, it's in 3 dimensions.
Um,
I don't know if you have the experience when you look at a stereo um, slide, 19th century stereo slide, you can converge your vision on them
huh.
and create the 3D image.
Oh, I see. I see. I see what you're saying.
And you can do that with the announcement.
Huh. Huh. Um, Let me just keep going a bit. So now here you have I don't remember the name of this one, but a dramatic production which includes his drawings and a kind of theater piece, and I believe that's him walking through this.
Yeah, it is.
And this is the piece that I saw with Renee at this local arts complex called Waiting for Sybil. So I want to show you a video. I hope I can do this. Um, Let me try to do this here. Um, all right, I'm going to try to do this one. Hmm. Hmm.
There's an arrow down at the bottom, Simon.
Um, Let me see, maybe this will work. Okay, so this isn't what I wanted to show you, but this was the exhibit that I just saw in in Chelsea at this gallery, Hauser and Wirth. So you can see how large these are, the scale
Can't
of,
can't see anything but the heading.
you can't see this?
No,
No,
You're
just a
not
heading across the
you're
of
not seeing any image?
no.
no, it's
No,
black.
nothing. Nothing.
Well, there's a that the
A
top
mark.
toolbar of your screen, but that's all.
Oh, see, I see this. I I think I didn't do this correctly. Um,
It's got brighter.
see, I see a whole
Nothing. It's black.
oh, huh. Um,
Except we can see your arrow moving around.
yeah, that's too bad. I don't know what to do with this.
And can you click on any one of the three? There's a yellow and two blue images there, or headings.
Yeah, the tabs. They're the
There are tabs
three
there.
tabs maybe.
Ah, yes. Now we see.
Now you see what?
We see it looks like from your it's one picture and then a bunch underneath.
Okay, so let me see if I can um look at one of
This
these.
is from waiting for the Sybil. Yeah.
Yeah, let me try this one.
Hmm. Oh, there we go.
Do you see this now?
Yes.
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 Okay, let me
No
see if I can.
sound though.
Let,
Give us sound.
you don't hear the sound?
No.
No.
Hmm.
There. Well, let's see.
No, that muted it.
Can you hear it now?
No,
Okay,
it's quite incredible.
yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Ah, mm.
Hmm.
Simon, are you
Wow.
hearing the sound?
uh,
Wienerfest Wochen.
okay, let me try it. Let me see if I could find another one. Oh, here's another one. Do you
Yeah,
see this one? Do you see this one?
yeah,
Waiting for the Sybil.
But
yeah.
no sound?
No sound.
Hmm.
No, and there he is
Oh, okay.
directing.
Simon, you might need to, oh, there, that might help.
Can you
Yeah.
do you hear the sound now?
No,
But you have
turn it
to
up from
pull
there.
out the
Yeah.
dot and move it up.
Do you
No,
No.
no still?
The the other option is, do you have a sound button on your computer on the upper right side of the keyboard?
Mm,
oh, look at this.
beautiful.
Oh,
Hey Renee, could I ask you a question? I'm getting this video is coming through. They can see the video, but they can't hear the sound.
I don't know why. I mean, is the sound? It's up to the top. I don't hear it either now.
Yeah, I was hearing it before, and someone suggested, oh,
wow.
Is there a volume on your keyboard? A volume control on your keyboard?
I don't think that would do it.
I think you have to go into settings and sync the sound with the Zoom. I've experienced this. It gets a little techy. Well,
Contradiction under the bar.
mhm.
Huh.
Mhm.
Just amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
Did
Oh,
he design all of these costumes?
yes, I'm sure.
Wow. Hmm.
Simon, perhaps you could make it a little larger. I think you should have that little square. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, that's full screen. Yeah.
Oh, stop the
Oh,
Could click it again, maybe.
click on the play again. Well, no, it's not.
Did we lose Simon? I don't see Simon.
Well,
Okay.
You won't see Simon unless he talks.
we didn't lose him completely because we still see the screen he's sharing.
Yeah, we see the screen.
But they can't hear me then.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
Now we
we can
can.
hear you.
Can you
Not
hear the video?
no.
No. Okay. Well, you're going to have to look at this up on your own then, because I can't figure out how to do this.
All right.
It was a great introduction to the theater work.
Yeah.
It was the most breathtaking, one of the most breathtaking performances I've seen.
I bet.
This part here is the animation of some of the drawings that
Right.
you've seen.
I think most of us probably wanted to look up more ourselves anyway, but this is amazing. The use of the shadow and his drawing together behind the performer is just really
Mhm.
so effective.
Let me see if I could find one more video to show you.
Okay.
Um, how do I do this?
Why is that not? I don't even know why it's working.
Okay. Let's see what this does.
Why isn't it? Why did you put on? Oh,
Is this from Hauser and Wirth?
No, I'm trying to get this.
It is.
This one seems interesting.
I think this is Hauser and Wirth.
Yeah, it says it at the top. Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So
Wow.
they must be seeing something that.
are you seeing something now?
We are seeing what looks like something from Hauser and Wirth, an introduction. It says William Kentridge, A Natural History of the Studio.
And is there sound?
No, there's no
No.
sound, but
But
there is
but it's
movement.
playing. It's playing.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
playing.
And it's a walkthrough of the gallery.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Let me see.
got that
Let's
huge.
let's leave that on just a little bit, and
Okay.
I'll see if I can do one more of the waiting for Sybil.
Jeez. I'm sorry I missed this. The show itself.
It was there a long time, May to August.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is just repeating. It's a very short.
Anything else on Simon?
That one? This one?
Can you see this?
No, we're seeing the same thing.
The
Same?
The
cut paper
houser-
sculpture.
Is it a tree that you see now moving?
No,
No, we see the sheet metal sculpture
Yeah,
torn.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It looks like Calder,
Sort of.
looks like what?
Alexander Calder.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sort of.
sort of, yeah.
Looks
But
like
you
Kentridge.
can hear all this, but you can't get the sound. You
Right,
can see all
Yeah.
this, but not the sound.
right.
I think it's a settings issue. You have to kind of go under the hood. This, I've experienced this before.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's easy to find
Let
on
me just
YouTube.
let me just play this one, and then I'll go back to our discussion. It's a shame because the music is great.
Oh,
This was the piece we saw.
Well, we're still on Hauser and Wirth.
Do you see a tree sort of rotating?
No,
No, we're looking at the
Which-
sheet metal sculpture his torn paper motif.
from Hauser
Yeah.
and Wirth.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's going up now? It's rising?
No, no, it's not moving.
Oh, okay, then you have.
Just an image. It's just the Hauser and Wirth announcement.
Yeah, yeah,
Stop share.
yeah,
Stop share. Let me
Yeah.
do this. But you have to close it because you're not doing it on just this.
Okay. Oh,
Okay. And then we have to find you. Okay, there you are.
okay. So I'm sorry about that. It's a
Okay.
shame. I never did this before, and I should have practiced more. So I'm curious, any thoughts about Mr. William Kentridge? Uh, any input from you on this artist? Should I call people, or does anyone want to start?
I'll start. Um, I want to take a deep dive into his work. I had never heard of him before, and I see the progression, and I see what you mean about how voracious his curiosity was.
Yes.
And there are so many aspects to his work. I was stunned at how large some of the pieces were, and the opera. I mean, I will definitely look those up online and see them.
That's
Just
great.
visually,
That's
very
great.
impressive.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And the one room that and I'll this is my last comment, but the one room that showed a lot of his drawings, I think particularly because he's reflecting his thoughts and his life, but also I'd like to know more about his influences. It looked like a room of black and white photographs, but painterly photographs. There was something very special about seeing all of them together. So I look forward to learning a bit more about him. Thank you.
If I could just comment on this, as the word voracious is the right word, and eating up life and trying to reflect it into art and to be very expressive. But this is like to a mind-boggling degree.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yes.
like polyglot plus,
Hmm.
if you can imagine that. And
Right.
and what you said about looking it up on your own, that's great. That really is great. So I feel a lot better that I couldn't get this to work, but it got you
Oh,
hooked on looking at it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you whet my appetite. Thank
yeah.
you.
Anyone else want to add? Carol?
Yeah. Well, two things. First of all, as I think I wrote to you, um, about 8 or 9 years ago, my husband and I were in Denmark, and we went to this Louisiana museum, and not knowing anything about Kentridge, and we walked in, and there were first lots of his bird drawings, big, beautiful, under glass. And then we went into this room, which was almost circular, and it was set up with what he does, which is he puts these old fashioned trumpet speakers in the middle of the room. And then going around the room were these drawings that were animated and videos and music of clearly South African people going through. There were bands. We we just couldn't leave. We were so drawn to it, and we have continued to be very drawn to his work. He also, as I understand it, has a big studio in Johannesburg, not his studio, but one for young South African artists
Mhm.
that can work. And I've seen some of the things out of there, but I, I think when you say voracious, and I mean, he's just amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, eh, eh, how about someone who didn't know his work and is seeing it for the first time? So, Rita, yeah.
I would say that the video that you showed, even though we couldn't hear the music, it felt very culturally African, and I imagine the music was South African, and I also thought the small sculptures, the small dark sculptures. I don't know if they were metal or they were painted to look like metal, but a lot of them had a rather primitive African feel to them. However, I didn't see his other art reflecting that.
Uh, I think it's the kind of thing where it, it's the totality of all of the art that becomes him. It's not a connection to the drawings. It's it's all uh, um, different focuses or foci of
Mm-hmm.
his brain, and um, it's absolutely fascinating, and a very smart man, um, in a big sense. Is there someone who did not know his work and is seeing this for the first time? Len, what do you think?
Yeah. What I particularly like, clearly this is a fellow who's incredibly skilled, and if he wanted to, could probably draw as hyper real as someone like Albrecht Dürer if he wanted to, but he clearly chooses not to, as opposed to being hyper realistic. I feel like he endeavors to more go for the essence of the thing, right? Not just with
It's 8 o'clock.
some of the drawings have not completely, but aspects of kind of a sketchiness
Yes,
to them. And also he conveys such richness with such a limited use of color.
yes,
You almost forget that he's barely using color at all because there's such vibrance in the
yes,
drawing. So that's what I would say. He captures, like, he really captures the essence of the thing.
yes. I it just occurred to me to mention that my plan for the rest of the term, I should have said this to start with, but my plan was next week you would have be reading your essays with the pictures nearby, and then for the 2 weeks that follow, um, I thought that the 2 weeks would be connected with an exhibit that took place in Holland of Anselm Kiefer and Van Gogh, and it juxtaposed the two of them. So I thought I would spend 2 weeks on that exhibit and Van Gogh and Kiefer. And then there's a holiday, and I thought tentatively that you would write another essay on either Kiefer, Van Gogh, or Kentridge. So those three would be the basis of the next piece of writing. Okay. But the piece of writing for this coming week, you already have the subjects. You already have the subjects. So that was my thought. And I think it sounds good. It sounds good. Um, uh, Anyone else who hasn't seen his work before? John?
I had not really seen his work before. I think I realized he was out there because stylistically he's very recognizable, but I really had not seen his work. And again, I thank you for taking me deeper into something new.
No, that's great.
I, I tell you, I think he's a thinking person's artist. This whole
Yes,
idea of process versus, an item or a static thing, I
yes.
think is very interesting. But I also want to say that I really, really admire his draftsmanship and the sensuality of these very aggressive lines. They're beautiful, they're interesting, they're luscious, and there's a real beauty to his work. I mean, I was taking notes. The flowers, the 12 coffee makers, the flower on the tabletop with the Manet. They're just luscious, beautiful.
Well, wait.
And
Yeah, go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
I was going to say I enjoyed them. That was my first, goosebump moment, call it. And I didn't have to work too hard. They're just gorgeous. And
When
I'm warming up to the process and the multiplicity of things that he's doing now that I'm living with him a little bit.
when you have a moment after the class, if you can bring up some of the videos, for instance, the one called "Waiting for the Sybil,"
Hmm.
the sound which was missing, my fault, was missing,
Yeah.
really is stunning, and you'll see him directing what he wants them to do.
Hmm.
And the directing is astounding because he'll say something to them, and all of a sudden they change what they're doing and they follow his direction.
Hmm.
Their voices are incredible. And there was a chorus of four men that sang throughout this piece. And one of them had an extremely strong bass voice. And it sounded like a thick guitar string, his voice.
Hmm.
You'll see that. You'll see that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I will go there.
Um, Sylvia, yeah.
I actually listened to a little bit of it while you were trying to figure out the sound. It was easy to find on my iPad, and it's absolutely beautiful music. I agree. I never heard of him, so this has been a really wonderful discovery. I'm especially charmed by the drawings of people on books. I found those incredibly charming.
Yes.
And I found myself intrigued by the pops of blue. There is a lot of black charcoal, a lot of black, and then there are there is water overflowing from, I don't know, sinks, and that's like this bright blue. And I don't know what to make of it, but it's kind of really intriguing. And lastly, I was wondering, Simon, you said that he's one of your top three artists, and that's quite a statement. I was wondering who are the other two.
Good
Well,
question.
the other two, the one other one is Kiefer, which is the artist that we're going to come to in 2 weeks, and I'm talking about living artists, living contemporary artists.
Fair enough.
And the third one is Antonio Lopez. Garcia. You don't know his work, but I've spent some time talking about him and uh,
I will look him up.
Antonio Lopez
Lopez.
Garcia. Lopez. He goes under the name Lopez, but his actual Spanish name is Antonio Lopez Garcia.
I found him. I will
Yeah. He's
look at
he's
him.
very good, and um, I don't know what all these three artists share, but it's something that I'm very drawn to. Drawn to. It's a funny term. Drawn to. Um, Someone else had their hand up. Was it you, Ron? Did you want to say something?
No.
No?
No.
I
Um,
would just like to clarify a comment if I could.
yeah.
When I said that particular room, and of course I'm looking at a small image on my screen. I'm not in that gallery room, but those black and white drawings, I said they look like a photograph. I didn't mean in the sense. I mean, as artists, that isn't a compliment. If somebody says, "Oh, that looks like a photograph," what I meant was they look like remnants. It looks like their representations. There's something a little bit soft about them, and my impression in seeing that image was I'm looking at remnants of his life that he recorded
Oh, yes,
at
yes.
various times.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I think you're right. I think you're right. Um, Susan, did you know his work before? Did you find it interesting, or I mean, it's not.
I did not know his work before, and I'm blown away by it. And what really, I can't wait to watch Waiting for the Sybil, because you started us out with all this black ink or charcoal. Then he has these very colorfully dressed people, but they're making shadows. So, which is the real thing? Is it the little tiny people in yellow and green, or is it these huge black moving things that recall his own work?
Very interesting. Very interesting point. Uh, I think I started to really understand him and feel stronger and stronger and stronger when I realized that he wasn't limited. He was branching out, trying this, trying this, trying this, trying this, and it wasn't it wasn't finite. It was working out his curiosity, and uh, he must never sleep, frankly, because there's so much going on in these in his brain that this is reflecting. Um, uh, Rich, what do you think? Or Richard?
Yeah, I did not know Kentridge at all. I'd never seen any of these images before. I did do a little bit of research before, just online. I guess that what I would want to say is, and I would want to see some of these films where he has drawn something and then erased part of it and filmed it and then done it again, because that reminds me a little bit of the theme of memory and maybe the ambiguity of truth. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of things that you could say about it, but I don't know enough to say anything more than that. It's intriguing to me.
Yeah, it is intriguing. Yeah, that's a good word. Bruni, did you know his work before?
I had seen his work at the Museum of Modern Art about 10 years ago, and it was the animation of videos. I don't remember which ones, but I felt truly hypnotized by by the by the work. It was projected against a large wall, and you walked in, you're standing or you want to sit, and he just draws you in. But what I felt was that he was evolutionary in the sense that he was bringing drawing to he was elevating drawing to a new level
Yes.
that I did not know before. And I think if you are an emerging artist and you look at his work, you realize that you have to be multi-talented and you have to be multi-dimensional, that is the future.
Yes.
And you have to have a range of different works and abilities. And I think that's where we're going. You have to do video, you have to do drawings, you have to paint, you have to do sculpture, etc., etc.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, that's very good.
It's evolution. So he's evolutionary, and considering that he's from South Africa, which is a country that is evolutionary, it has that kind of history, the cradle of civilization, let's say.
Yeah.
So he kind of fits right in
Yeah.
with bringing that into the world, those impulses,
Yeah.
something new and exciting.
Kathy, any thoughts?
Yeah, well, it was remarkable to see that in a short space of time, if he was born in 1955, he's only now about, what, 70 or so. The varied media that he has over the years between the sculpture and the videos and the drawings, and just amazing. I'm wondering if he has a whole atelier with a bunch of people that work with him. How could he get all that done so quickly?
That's a good point. I don't know the answer to that. That's a very
And
good.
the other thing is, I had asked if he did the costumes, which were just marvelous. But I'm also wondering, did he compose the music for his operas as well? Of course, we didn't have the sound, so I will try to listen to it.
I think that the operas are composed by someone else.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I think. But I actually wanted Kathy, the other Kathy, to respond.
Oh,
And
sorry.
I'm glad you said what you did. And I on my screen I was looking at Peter Muska.
Yeah, well, I was drawn, right. I didn't know of his work. But from the first slide, I was like, oh wow, And the word that I wrote down was movement, and that carries through in all his work, whether it's his paint strokes, his charcoal strokes. There was so much movement in his drawings, and then literal movement when he did these productions. So, and then also I want to say that he was fearless in his work too, because he didn't too many times as artists, we have an idea and then we judge it before we implement it. He didn't, I feel he probably didn't judge himself and stop himself. He just kept going and expanding.
You reminded me of something which I should say is that these three artists that I listed, I think that what they have in common is an interest in the human condition, but conveyed through the spirit of art, whatever it is, but to understand what human beings are. And they're doing it through uh, different directions in art, from modernism to traditional art to whatever. And so the the spirit of trying to understand the human being is replenished in their work. So that's what I feel. To answer a question that was asked before, that unites those three. Let me see, Anne Marie, anything to add? Would you like to add something?
Just that I agreed with when Sylvia was saying about the book. The book for me was that just opened up a whole insight into who he was as an artist. And then as you progressed and showed us his work after that, it just seemed to be building and building in a sense that he's like life and art are the same.
Yes.
Seems like they're,
Well said. Very well said.
yeah, they're just, I had never seen his work before either. So it's very exciting when you see an artist that you, it, nothing, you look at the work and it just does something, makes you feel something, makes you understand life a little bit differently.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really wonderful. And I wanted to mention to Sylvia about the film about Antonio Lopez that we saw,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Simon. It was the most
Yeah.
beautiful film that I think you shouldn't miss seeing it if you're interested in
Yeah.
it. It's by Victor Arise.
Yeah. There's a film, Sylvia, there's a film, a really beautiful film. It's called The Quince Tree Sun. And it was done.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
The film is called The Quince Tree Sun, Sun, and it was directed by Victor Erice, Erice, and it's a film which tracks Lopez doing a painting of a quince tree.
Mhm.
In terms of seeing an artist painting and involved in the creation of art, I think it's one of the best films I've seen on that subject.
Thank you. I look it up.
Victor Erice is a very interesting director. I think he must be maybe 70 now, maybe a little bit more. Uh, I think he's only done 5 films, and one of them is the film on Lopez. He did a second film called Spirit of the Beehive. And the reason I think of this now is that uh, there's a new film that is opening, um, just about to come out, which is on Frankenstein. Okay. And there was a very interesting interview of Guillermo del Toro, uh, who directed the film. Very, very interesting interview on Terry Gross. She's a terrific, smart interviewer, and this interview is terrific. I don't know if the film will be that good, but the interview is great. But it made me think of this film, Spirit of the Beehive, in which Frankenstein makes an appearance in the film. Okay, it's a Spanish film, and it's about a little girl. And this little girl either imagines or sees, it's not clear, Frankenstein. And it's about more than that, but it's pretty amazing. And so that director did this film on Lopez. And it's a documentary really, but it's more than a documentary. It would be like museum hours in a way. It's very idiosyncratic. I want to just make sure that everyone has spoken. So I see Kristen. What would you like to add something?
Um, I did not know of him either. I had two thoughts. It's interesting to me that you mentioned uh, the Jacques Lecoq,
Yes,
Jacques
yes,
Lecoq
yes.
connection, um, because I've seen not his work, but some children's pieces that were influenced by him, and it's very weird and all-encompassing. And so the pieces at the end made me think that that must have been a big influence in
Yes,
the
I think so.
dramatic
I think,
work.
yeah,
And then the other thing I think sort of related to that is that I found many of the pieces in the way that he was adding the lines and the colored lines and the marks reminded me of somebody who was designing a set for some sort of
yeah,
performance. And
yeah.
so I don't know, it made me wonder what's in his head when he's working on those things. Is he starting from, oh, I have this vision of a theatrical production, and so I'm going to draw this set for it? Or is it that he starts drawing something and then, aha, maybe this could be a piece? I don't know.
I don't know, but I admire his uh, curiosity.
Mhm,
Omnipresent. It's dazzling, absolutely
mhm.
dazzling. Uh, Anna,
I,
what about you?
I had a couple of thoughts. One thing was, as we were looking at his work, I did think of Antonio Lopez, and I think it's that same commitment to the work. They're very different, and yet there's this commitment, this is deep thinking, and that's who came to mind as we were looking at the
Huh,
work.
huh.
But I also had a question, like the earlier pieces, were they much smaller, or were we just not seeing them at scale? Because I was surprised as they got bigger and bigger, and when we saw the big tree and so forth, but that the very first piece looks quite small.
My my
Self-portraits, and
my memory is that they were smaller,
they
and
were
that
smaller. Yeah,
his pieces have gotten his actual drawing pieces have
keep getting
gotten bigger. Yes,
bigger.
yes,
Yeah.
and you could see that. Uh, there are better images that you can see online of his studio, and it's very interesting because and there was a video that I was looking to find, which I had seen, and I thought I would show you, and it's on the theme of the studio, the metaphor of the studio, uh, the place of thought, the place of where creativity takes place. So that was very interesting, but I couldn't find it after all of this technical uh, glitches. Mary, what do you think?
I didn't know his work before, and I'm very really taken with it. I feel like his life is like spreading out of the work, and that's why he's jumping into all these other forms. And his work brought to my mind Robert Wilson's work, and
Mm.
that ultimately, like heading towards an opera, which is such an expansive and uh, broad way to cover. So I feel like it's just so full of life and narrative and very beautiful.
The word that Anna used to relate his work to the other two artists, commitment, is I totally agree with that word, and uh, I admire and really respect committed individuals. Of course, more so in the arts, but it's not so easy to be that committed. It's like you have to be really monomaniacal. It, um, it, but that's what those three artists have in common, I believe. Kathleen.
Um, First of all, I really like him, and and I was thinking if just walked into a room with, the tree, the huge wall-sized tree, I think I would have been totally blown away by it. And I liked his sculptures, the small ones, and also the sort of medium-sized ones. He sort of reminds me of Picasso and
Yeah,
having mastered so many different fields.
yeah.
One question that I keep thinking about is the fact that he uses newspapers. Now I can't remember what all the pictures were that were done on newspaper, but I do remember that some of them were, well, the tree were sort of organic, and I'd like to know what other people think, but I was thinking maybe the newspaper has to do with our busyness and mundane stuff that we do every day, contrasted with, well, beauty for one thing, or something more intense.
Well, I think it makes it maybe more avant-garde, and it makes it kind of crazily offhand, both offhand and planned at the same time.
Mm.
It's like jotting things on a newspaper, but he's jotting things that are more than jotting.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. And the way it's tacked to the wall, the tacks almost disappear, but it's really tacked. Uh, uh,
Well,
So you don't think there's a contrast of ideas between the newspaper and what he puts on them?
yes, there is. There is. I think, but it makes it seem more sporadic than planned, more off the cuff.
Mm.
That's my take. Um, uh, did someone not participate? Would someone like to add something? Yeah, Rita. Wait a minute, Rita.
You know, I think he he communicates a very healthy intensity. A lot of the artists we have covered have an unhealthy intensity that's off-putting and gives us a sense of unease. But not this artist. He has a kind of inclusive, welcoming intensity that draws you in a positive way. That's my take on it.
Hmm.
Well, I would say that welcoming is a little bit like the glass of water. Is the glass of water warm or cool? It depends on where you've been before you put your hand in the water. Now, so you're interpreting it as welcoming, but it might be a little off-putting to someone else. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to be flip. Uh, like I was waiting for someone to say, I don't really like this. This is not what art should be about. And you should say what you feel. And the whole idea of changing your mind about something, about an artist, or it, growing into understanding an artist, or being opened up to that artist is a fascinating idea. And that's a subject all its own. But it is a very interesting subject. So if I was to continue on it, um, uh, the first time I saw the artist Giacometti, I didn't relate at all. But little by little, he became, living or dead, one of my favorite artists.
Mhm.
Okay. But when I first saw him, I just didn't get it. Um, so now what does this show? Maybe it shows uh, you shouldn't uh, say what you think because someone else could be recording it and you're going to sound really stupid. You're going to sound really stupid, or keep a modicum of doubt about what you think. I like that idea. Keep a modicum of doubt. Have an opinion, but be open to the fact that you could be mistaken. Um, well, I haven't grown into Mark Rothko, so maybe in 10 years he'll be my favorite. That's me. So
Come up down.
anyway, on that note, um, uh, I will see you next week, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. You should send me the visuals, even if you don't have the writing. Send me the one or two visuals that you have, and
excuse me,
try.
Simon.
Yeah.
Did we get all the visuals of Bruegel? I
Uh,
don't remember. Did we get the slides of Bruegel's work?
no, I didn't. I wasn't able to do that this term. So you're going to have to retrieve it on your own or carefully specify to me what you want. Okay, and maybe I could find it.
Oh,
In other
if
words,
I can't find it, I'll ask you to help me.
yeah, yeah, if you can't find it. But what Anne Marie is referring to is that one of the students usually puts all of the slides together, and I just couldn't ask him to do that this time. But it's really nice because then you have like maybe 200 images at the end of the term. But it was not the right time to ask him. Um, but you can do this from the recordings, and then you can write to me and say it's this image and describe it, because I have the raw material.
Oh, okay.
I have the each image.
Good,
Okay.
good.
Okay, so we'll see you next week. Have a great week, and I'd be curious. You should look this artist up. Look up other videos, and especially the one on Waiting for the Sybil, because the music is like incredible. So have a nice week. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Simon.
Simon.
Great. Great.
Nice to see everyone. Good night.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Take care. Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Uh,
Simon, might I take a moment to ask you a question?
Sure. Go ahead.
One of the artists that we saw on this journey was Luca Signorelli,
Yes. Yes.
and I was very touched and impressed with his work. We were in Cortona, which has a small Episcopal diocesan museum near across from the cathedral, which had a lot of his work and also had a very lovely Fra Angelico Annunciation. And then we went to Orvieto, to that marvelous cathedral, and saw the chapel that Signorelli did. And I take it he was the artist who had decorated the Sistine Chapel before that upstart Michelangelo took over his acreage.
That is a great work of art. That piece, that the chapel.
The chapel, yes,
Yeah.
it's really.
Ron, were you in the class when I did one class on that chapel?
No.
Okay, so if I can remember it and retrieve it, I'll send you the presentation on that one.
I'd love to see that. That's very kind,
Yeah,
Simon.
no, I'll send it to you. It was it's a very interesting presentation. And I love those pieces. They some of them look like surrealism or Mexican art.
Oh, yeah.
Very strange work.
Just incredibly visionary, as we might say.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know, it deals with the Antichrist.
And I read just recently that it occurred around the time that Savonarola was creating havoc with the church.
I look forward to if we don't have time for you to respond during the class, but after you see what I present, I look forward to your response.
I'll enjoy that very much.
Okay, great, great.
Thank you, Simon.
I hope everything's going well for you.
I'm just getting over a bad cold, but it didn't happen on the trip. So
Okay.
we had beautiful weather and wonderful experiences over there. And we saw the influence on Giacometti of the Etruscan bronzes that are in that same very elongated format.
Huh, huh.
Uh,
I didn't know those. I don't know those.
I'll send you some pictures of them.
Oh, okay, great, great. But isn't it interesting that sometimes you have to be, um, it has to be the right moment for you to appreciate something.
Oh, yes.
It's fascinating. It's a fascinating subject by itself.
The I'm of course coming into this session having missed two prior. Let me ask, do you think it would be appropriate if I were to uh, compare and contrast one of the Bruegels with a later, about 50-year later work, um, which I think relates to it in a way that might be interesting as a contrast of what was happening socially at those two times.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Which
Okay,
which do you mean?
I'm thinking of the um, there was the one um, of children's games,
Yes,
which shows something like 250 different
yes,
characters in it.
yes,
We have a large etching, which I probably showed you of Jacques Callot
yes, yes, yes.
depicting the fair at Impruneta. That was done around 1600. And there are games going on by peasants that he showed, but
That's a great idea. That's a
they're
great
in a
idea.
very, very different mode
Yeah,
than Bruegel.
yeah,
It's a kind of, but it was done, I think, seeking favor of Cosimo de' Medici, where Bruegel seemed to be much more of a free spirit.
yeah. No, that's a great idea.
Okay, let me work on that.
Okay, okay,
Thank
great,
you.
great. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.